there was one thing nobody in that little mountain village could explain. Every Sunday morning, just after the church bells from the next valley faded into the distance, an old grey donkey would push open the same loose pasture gate, walk almost 4 miles completely alone, and stop beside a weathered wooden bench outside an abandoned stone church. It never wandered, never grazed along the way. It simply waited there until noon, then quietly walked home again. Most people stopped wondering years ago. They just called it another village mystery. Honestly, I probably would have done the same. But then someone arrived who hadn't learned to ignore it. She was a travel journalist looking for forgotten traditions, not strange animals. At first, she assumed the donkey's walk had some simple explanation. An old feeding spot, muscle memory, something ordinary. But nobody claimed to own the habit. Even the farmer who cared for the donkey admitted he'd tried keeping it inside on Sundays. Somehow, the animal always found a way out. Curiosity has a way of pulling people deeper than they expect. She began following the donkey each Sunday, taking notes, talking to the oldest villagers. Most shrugged. A few smiled sadly. One elderly woman finally whispered, "It wasn't always waiting for an empty bench." That single sentence changed everything. Years earlier, before the church was abandoned, a quiet stonemason spent every Sunday sitting on that bench after the service ended. The donkey had carried his tools through the mountains for nearly 20 years. They were rarely apart. During the war, the stonemason had made a promise to someone he loved, promising that no matter what happened, he'd return to that church every Sunday at noon until they could meet again. They never did. The woman disappeared during the final months of the war. No body was found. No goodbye was ever spoken. Yet the stonemason kept his promise for the rest of his life. Every single Sunday. And every single Sunday, the donkey waited beside him. When the old man died, there was no family nearby who knew about the promise. His belongings were packed away. The church slowly emptied. The bench remained. The donkey kept coming anyway. The journalist searched through forgotten parish records, faded letters, and military archives. Weeks later, she found surviving relatives living hundreds of miles away. They had grown up hearing only fragments about a grandfather who rarely spoke of the war. They never knew why he disappeared every Sunday morning. When they finally visited the church together, the old donkey made the familiar walk once again. It reached the bench, looked toward the path where the stonemason used to appear, and stood there in complete silence. No one said much. There wasn't anything to say. The family placed a small carved stone on the bench with the names of the two people, separated by war, but united by a promise that lasted longer than either of them ever could. The donkey visited only twice more after that. Then, one Sunday, it stayed in its pasture. Some people said it had simply grown too old for the journey. Maybe that's true. But every time I think about that empty bench in the mountains, I can't help wondering if somehow the only one who never forgot had finally realized the promise had been delivered.